guys, what's going on? It's your boy Bigfoltz here, bringing you guys another video. In today's video, I actually have a conversation that I feel like is very relevant to like right now. I haven't really ever made a video like this in the past, but I just want to kind of address it a little bit. I don't know how many of you guys are interested in stuff like this, but we actually had some very big news overall in the whole world of like esports. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but there's people out there that are making millions and millions of dollars, and there's companies worth millions and millions of dollars that are playing video games for a living. I think a lot of you guys know that, but in today we're going to kind of tackle some of it and talk about some very big, I guess, things that happened in recent with this. Now, I don't know if you guys know, I am in DooMClan. I am an owner of it. We have tapped a little bit into esports, but my experiences with esports, I didn't really like it. We didn't really like it. It didn't really go the way that we wanted it to. And I mean, it's not to say that we won't in the future. We definitely do have some players in Fortnite that are competing at events. We actually have a player that's actually competing at TwitchCon. So it's something that we're like interested in, but haven't hit the right approach yet. But seeing stuff like this is very inspirational because there's just a lot going on here. So both of these articles that we're going to be reading, discussing, and overall just talking about and me giving my opinions on and stating is from Forbes. I'm pretty sure pretty much everyone knows what Forbes is, but I just kind of want to, get right into it. Now, this one is titled "The World's Most Valuable Esports Companies." This actually came out yesterday. The nascent esport industry resembles the Wild West. Esports companies are constantly buying and selling teams and players to compete in the best leagues and build audience on Amazon's Twitch and YouTube. Facilities are being built where gamers can train. It is a shootout to see who can be the biggest and the baddest brand. I want to say this really quick before I continue reading this. Esports, the reason why we haven't got into it, and the research that I've done with it and stuff, basically every team in esports has a lot of investments. Now, in this, we're going to be talking about the top esports team. Most of them are very profitable, but there's a lot of teams out there that get large investments from like investors and then use it to buy esports teams, and it never really turns into anything. Every esports team is like chasing this dream to be the value and all that of what these teams are, that they could someday maybe sell it for like the price of, say, like an NFL team or something. Is that realistic? Maybe. I think there's actually a good chance. Now, I don't know how old you guys are, but if you actually think about it, I would say the majority of people watching this video, you're probably way more interested in video games than you are sports, right? I like sports a lot. I definitely play and spend more time around video games than I do sports, and I think the younger generation than me, I'm 25. If you guys are younger than me, I would say it's even more so swinged towards video games rather than sports. People nowadays, they want to be YouTubers. They want to be professional gamers. They don't really want to be somebody at the NBA. Obviously, it still exists. But like I said, a lot of these like smaller teams are just throwing a bunch of money in from investors, buying people and buying this just to create some like business, the hope that it will sell for tons of money someday. And it doesn't really work out. In this video, though, we're going to be kind of going over the more successful ones. There are some similarities to traditional sports leagues. Riot Games began selling franchises for $10 million a pop for its game League of Legends in summer 2017. Activision's Blizzard began selling franchises for $20 million for its Overwatch League. Around the same time, iconic sports names for the New York Yankees and Houston Rockets to Robert Kraft and Magic Johnson have bought in. Yeah, there's been a lot more buy-ins than what was listed there, but yeah, they were smart. League of Legends franchises are being valued at $50 million by bankers. Overwatch franchise valuations are at $60 to $80 million depending on the country and city. In other words, the former has seen a five-fold increase in a year. Why, according to Newzoo, the number of esports enthusiasts worldwide will reach 165 million in 2018. That's insane, which translates to a year-over-year growth of 15%. Esports revenues will grow 38% this year to 906 million and reach 1.65 billion by 2021. Most of the business will come from North America, 38%, and China, 18%. Sponsorship is the biggest revenue stream, 359 million this year, followed by advertising, 174 million, media rights, 161 million, game publishing fees, 116 million, and merchandise and tickets, 96 million. But media rights are growing the fastest and projected to be more than 320 million by 2021, making it the second biggest source of revenue behind sponsorships. In July, Activision Blizzard signed a multi-year deal with Walt Disney to broadcast the Overwatch League on linear television. The deal covers multiple Disney-controlled networks, including ESPN, Disney XD, and ABC. Overwatch is already adding expansion teams, and Riot Games has begun selling franchises for its European league. Now, I want to pause here before we go on any further and say, like, this stuff to me, like, I don't do esports, but I am in the world of, like esports is building for me things, right? Like, when I first started doing this, I've been doing this full-time for almost 6 years now. Sponsorships weren't really a thing. There was sponsorships. They were always like commission based and no one was really getting any big deals for them. And then recently we seen guys like Nade Shot busted out. He got like a Red Bull deal. All this stuff happened. Like all these salaries started happening, like paid sponsorships. And now it's just more and more. Like every single day, like literally, I'm not even kidding, probably 3 to 4 times a day, I get an email for a paid sponsorship. Hey, here's my product. I'm going to pay you to either promote it or do a monthly salary or something like that. Now I haven't accepted any. I mean, I have my sponsors G Fuel and Scuff, and then I have my own website, Winner Circle. But besides that, I haven't accepted any. I've been working with G Fuel and Scuff since way back, and obviously I'm always going to promote my own companies. There's no ifs, ands, or buts there. What I'm saying is like the commercial value, the advertisement, the sponsorships, all this stuff is people are starting to see the value of it. If you actually think about it, and I'm not saying this is an ego, but like my YouTube channel is getting right now about 5 million views a month, and that's actually like kind of a slower month for me. But 5 million views in a month is more views than most TV channels will get in a month, or like a series that they put on TV, right? Like maybe not like a popular TV series, but like whatever, like some old show or something. One of my videos is going to get more views than that, whereas their production costs way more. The amount of time it takes, the people that it takes, like everything like that costs way more, and they're getting paid way more from the advertisers on TV and stuff. Here on YouTube, like I'm getting more viewers than that, but the level of what I'm getting paid is way down. That's actually been changing. Like the advertisements has been getting better, the sponsorships have been getting better, and it's just going to continue to climb and climb and climb, because realistically, you actually think about it, like people that are YouTubers literally have the most pull in the entire world. Like it's actually crazy to think about. Like I would say a YouTuber like Shane Dawson, maybe he's not as big as a celebrity as like LeBron James or like Justin Bieber, but as far as like actual pull in the world, he can upload a video that's going to get 20 million views. He could make like a 2-minute video just saying whatever he wanted to, and it would probably get 20 million views. Nobody else in the world has that power to reach that many people that quickly, and it's crazy. And I think these companies are just like finally catching up with it. This stuff is all insane to me. Esports has its first crossover star in Tyler Blevins, better known as Ninja. In an ESPN interview, suggested he earns 7 figures a month. The ESPN cover boy has 3.5 million followers on Twitter, 19 million subscribers on his YouTube channel, and 11 million on Twitch. He has showed up in mainstream talk shows, including Ellen. He has sponsorships with Samsung, Red Bull, Uber Eats. He's got to be getting insane money from all three of them. And also like what great sponsors. Then we have like a little thing here on Andy Den, which is actually the owner of TSM. I used to watch him. Players' costs typically eat up half of the company's operating budget. The vast majority of companies are cash flow. This has led to esports companies raising capital by the buckets. In 2017, there were 74 deals, the majority from angel and venture capital investors, worth 1.52 billion, involving esports companies. According to PitchBook, from 6 deals worth 34 million in 2018, thus far there have been 63 deals worth 2.34 billion in 2018. The theory is dilution is an acceptable consequence because 20% of something worth 1 billion is greater than 100% of something worth 100 million. The esports companies that end up winning the shootout will likely be those who have arenas and multiple teams in multiple leagues. Below are the 12 most valuable esports companies in the world. Cloud9 is the most valuable professional esports company, worth 310 million, in part because of its success across a wide variety of games. This month, the 5-year-old company, which is owned by Jack and Polly, not going to try to say the last name, raised 50 million in Series B funding, a chunk that will go towards building a 200 to 30,000 square foot training facility and home for its operations in Los Angeles, scheduled to open in 2019. So here we have a top list, and it shows the teams and like their estimated value, the revenue, stuff like that, right? You know, we got Cloud9 at the top, and then we have Team Solo Mid. Dude, it's actually crazy to me that the only owner under Team Solo Mid is Reginald. Like, he's still the only owner of TSM. Like, there's no, I'm sure there's like, there's got to be investors and stuff like that. But we got Team Liquid. I've literally never even, like, Axomatic, like that's literally like an online name. So this dude with an online name, like an online gamer tag, owns a esports org worth 200 mil apparently. Echo Fox with the Vision Venture Partners, 150 mil. Optic Gaming, it doesn't even mention Hex in there. We got Fnatic, we got Gen.G Esports, G2 Esports, Immortals, Envy Gaming, 100 Thieves, and CLG. Now the most impressive to me on this list is 100 Thieves, and that's going to be the team we talk about a lot in this video. Now I feel like some of you guys probably watching that, I mean, if you're still watching to this point, you're probably pretty interested in esports, so you probably know about it. But I've been watching Nadeshot since I was like in high school. Like, he was one of the guys that, he was at his prime when I was like soaking in content to learn how to make content, if that makes sense. He was at his prime as far as like he was fully focused on content. And I've kind of, honestly, I wouldn't say I've like followed his path, but I would say that we've done similar things. Like, I think I was in my prime of content creation back when I was streaming like Call of Duty Ghost, because all I did at that time was stream. I didn't do YouTube. I didn't have any companies. I didn't do any other business stuff. I literally just live streamed all day, every day. And that's when my content was at its peak, because that's all I was focused on. And Matt, I think, could probably relate to this a little bit. Like, he was there too, like back on YouTube and Twitch, like that's all he was focused on. Also, he was doing competitive, but like they all kind of went in one bundle. Since then, he's broke out and he's been doing all this company stuff. Like, his content, like, he still makes good content, I'm not saying that at all, but he's not as focused on it. He's not like committed to it and like making videos and you know what I mean, like he used to, right? And that happens to a lot of people who kind of break into the business world. I think it's the smarter way to go because you know, like YouTube careers, Twitch careers, they're so up and down. You never know what's going to happen. You know, there's a lot of people out there that had this huge booming career and it just slipped away. But if you create multiple companies, multiple sources of revenue, I feel like you can never actually fall off that. You're gonna have some W's and L's here and there, but if you have a lot of things coming in, if you have you know, eggs in a lot of different baskets, you're probably good to go. Now 100 Thieves was made, I want to say like 2016ish, and I actually remember when 100 Thieves came out, it was just Nadeshot in the team, and he picked up a Call of Duty team. I want to say that went to like Anaheim or like COD Champs or something like that. And it did have dope merch. 100 Thieves definitely had dope merch, and that's what he kind of started it as. They went to an event, and I remember they got like destroyed. The COD team went like 0-3 and just like got kicked out of Champs or whatever tournament it was. I remember on Twitter, everyone was like kind of memeing 100 Thieves. And for a while there, for like a year, it went completely dry. There was nobody in it. It was just Nadeshot and like 100 Thieves had the Twitter, and it just sat there. Right. Then he made this recruitment of like Nick Merckx and his boys. It was kind of weird because it was literally just like Nadeshot and Nick Merckx and his little crew. That was all that 100 Thieves was. There wasn't anything else. And then all of a sudden, Dan Gilbert, as you will see on this list, Dan Gilbert invested, like the owner of the Cleveland Cavs, and that's kind of insane, dude. There's been a lot of owners of sports teams investing into esports org, and that kind of just happened out of nowhere. And as soon as that happened, it's like, bam, League of Legends team, this huge house in LA, like they have all this stuff now overnight. Now today we're talking about in this video, you see under the owners, you also see Scooter Braun and you see Drake. So these are all owners of this team. All these other teams that I see on this list, obviously mad props to them, right? Like mad props to them. Optic Gaming, they're number 5. I feel like they should be more than that. You know what I mean? I don't even see FaZe on this list, which I think is kind of weird. There's all these teams, like I think most of these are pretty old. Like Envy's been around since forever. CLG's been around since forever. I don't even know who G2 Esports is. Immortals been around forever. So it's just insane to me that 100 Thieves is already in the top 11, and now with picking up Drake and Scooter Braun, like there's even more money to have. I think Drake increases the popularity a lot. Like now the clothing brand's going to be way bigger. So let's read this article really quick. Drake Scooter Braun invests in esports company 100 Thieves. That's the article by Forbes once again. In November 2017, former professional gamer Matt Nadeshot Hag took to his YouTube channel to announce that his apparel company 100 Thieves received a multi-million-dollar investment from Cleveland Cavaliers and Quicken Loans owner Dan Gilbert, allowing him to expand into a full-fledged esports organization. Less than a year later, 100 Thieves is one of the best and fastest racing brands in the industry, and Hag is partnering with a few more notable names. 100 Thieves announced today, Tuesday, that it is completed its Series A funding round, which led to co-led by SB Projects founder Scooter Braun and Grammy-winning artist Drake, who both become co-owners. Braun, who represents artists like Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande, also joins the company's board. That's insane. Included in the round is Sequoia Capital, Wonderco, Mark Binoff, Drew Houston, Green Bay Ventures. Along with last year's investment, 100 Thieves now has $25 million in total funding. The new influx of capital will go towards building out its content team, acquiring new talent, and continuing to expand its apparel line. What attracted Braun and Drake was Hag's broader scope of the organization. While other esports companies pivot to style themselves as lifestyle brands, 100 Thieves begin with it in mind. I watched this podcast with Hex and Nadeshot. It was like 3 hours long. It was recently, like Hex's new podcast. I actually watched the whole thing. Like I enjoyed the conversations they were having, and like I don't know. I'm pretty sure Nadeshot hates me. Like I think he still might hate me, but like I actually have a lot of respect for him. So the company does design and production in-house, and all 4 of its apparel drops thus far have sold out in less than 20 minutes. He has a clear vision of where the esports is going and how to build an amazing brand within it. That's why I wanted to bet on him and 100 Thieves, Scooter Braun says. Hag himself built up his own personal brand as Nadeshot with 3.1 million followers on YouTube, 2.4 million on Twitter. In building 100 Thieves, he wants to enable his players to do the same for themselves, a skill he hopes to learn from his new co-owner Braun. So yeah, basically, I guess I'm not going to read the rest of it because I feel like this video is getting really long. Essentially, Drake and Scooter Braun invested into 100 Thieves. Like there's 25 million of investment money here. They just picked up Valkyrie, like this new Twitch streamer, like, but it says the main interest of it is picking up content creators. Now this is what's very interesting to me. Is like FaZe has tons of content creators, they have tons of subscribers, they have tons of like clout, if you want to call it that, but they're not even on this top 12 list, and I think it's because of esports. But realistically, like I think they probably have a lot of very large sponsor deals. To me, it seems like, once again, on the YouTube side of things, these people that are getting millions and millions of views, they should be included. I mean, I guess at the moment they're not really including Fortnite as anything, but like Tfue is signed to FaZe, and I honestly, like, I think Tfue's value is insane. She's gonna win FaZe a lot of money. He is literally a god at Fortnite. It looks like 100 Thieves is kind of branding into this, and I think it's really smart. I'm sure Nate had a really good pitch for this because he understands like the content side is needed, but I think 100 Thieves needs to do this good job of like kind of getting everyone together. Like maybe in the future they have like a big house they're planning on getting together. I think it's a really good idea for the brand because like if you look at how Optic grew, FaZe grew, it was in a house together making content together. People started to like it and like relatable, and like it just grew and grew and grew from that. So it'll be curious to see who they're going to pick up. They got $25 million, so pretty much anyone. Who knows? Maybe Ninja's joining. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of this whole thing, the esports industry, how the world's changing. It's actually insane how this whole industry is changing. I think it's the fastest growing industry in the world, and I'm not talking about just esports. I'm talking about like content creation as well. It's the future. It's what's going to happen, and I think more and more people are starting to see that, as you can see with these crazy like 100 million, 300 million numbers. Like it's literally insane. So thank you guys all for watching the video. If you made it at this point, you're a legend. Seriously, I appreciate you guys. Drake's officially on 100 Thieves. That's insane to me. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on. Without further ado, guys, I'll see you next time. I'm out of here. Peace.